Um, so I'm here with Matthew Robbins, who's Chief Executive of Web Reality, and Matthew's kindly agreed to be on our discussion panel at Social Jersey. So, Matthew, social media is seemingly everywhere these days, and people call it a revolution. I mean, do you agree? Do you think it is revolutionary to how we're doing business?
It can be done well, and I've certainly seen plenty of examples, not so much locally, but throughout the world, of businesses that have revolutionised themselves or their market by making really good use of social media. But I would say that the Jersey market at the moment is characterised by a degree of timidity when it comes to embracing it fully and properly. I can't think of a single business that has revolutionised itself through the use of social media. I can think of businesses in Jersey that have revolutionised markets or created revolutionary change within the Jersey business scene through social media. One I would cite as an example, and disclosure, I'm involved with it, so I know it inside out, is Quidzin, which is using a model that's widely adopted around the world, the Daily Deal model, but depends absolutely on social media for its success, because the deals are shared between members. And the deal only becomes active once enough members have adopted it. So there's a very good example of a business that simply would not exist without social media. When it comes to conventional businesses adopting social media as part of their business strategy, or even at a less pervasive level, just as part of their marketing strategy, and I do see a difference between the two. I can't think of a single local business that's really transformed itself using social media yet, but I think the time will come.
I mean, examples like Quidzin and a lot of the more sort of active people I see locally tend to be B2C, business to consumer. How do you think B2B companies could sort of take advantage of it? The only local example I really know of is HSBC with their Expat Explorer project. But
even that's B2C, really. You're just talking about high net worth Cs. Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. It's an interesting challenge. I actually take the view that the opportunities for B2B type businesses in social media are just as strong and just as interesting as B2C. It's a world I live in myself, professionally, in terms of the services that Web Reality offers. I'll give you an example of a situation that I encounter quite frequently, talking to local retail businesses who have very well-established marketing habits. They spend a lot of money every year on print-based advertising. Tens of thousands of pounds. Will readily admit that they have no idea what they get back from that. They can tell you how much they spend, but not what they get back from it. My normal strategy when trying to encourage them to trial online marketing of any kind, but including social media, is to suggest that they perhaps put a small percentage of their total budget for a period into online, take it out of conventional marketing and into online, and obviously I can guarantee that they'll have much better data, much greater measurability of whatever it is that online has delivered for them. But very, very few will take that leap of faith, despite the fact that the one thing they know they'll get back is certainty as to whether or not it's worked. So we do have some very entrenched habits in marketing in Jersey, which I think are probably more conservative even than mainland UK. And it's our challenge, I guess, to convince people that it is worth trying this big, scary world of online.
I would say, from my experience, the UK is behind the USA by a long shot, and the Channel Islands are behind the UK. And I think that conservatism may be holding us back, the fear of maybe the unknown, or is it going to work, or is it a risk of what people will say about them?
I think there are a number of factors, as there will usually be in these kind of situations. What I discern is intense conservatism at decision-maker level in many local businesses, because decision-makers quite often are above the age level where they have personally started engaging with the online world that we're talking about. Even I, at my age, am probably quite unusual in being so actively involved in social media, for example. And many other business decision makers that I meet who are my age will happily admit that they're complete technophobes. They've never been near any of the platforms that we talk about when we're discussing social media. With those kind of people taking decisions about how marketing money is spent, it's not surprising that it's difficult to convince them that these are places worth looking towards. There's the challenge for us. Conversely, there are startup businesses that have emerged in the past 2 or 3 years in the teeth of the recession that have lent heavily on social media and have created very strong presence, which they would probably have not been able to afford using conventional media methods.
Going forward as well, I think social media is having increasing impacts on how people rank in the search engines, and that's why one of the reasons we've got Judith Lewis coming over to speak at the conference. But in my experience, I don't know how you felt, do you think people really understand the importance of search and how that is really going to, if they get it right, help their business?
No, is the simple answer. Most businesses don't have any sense at all of the value of search, of the importance of search as part of their future marketing strategy. It's becoming more and more important for all businesses all the time. But obviously it depends very heavily what kind of business you are and where your potential customers are. So, for example, if you're talking about a Jersey hotel that's targeting potential visitors from the UK, it's your lifeblood, actually. If you're talking about a local plumbing business that's seeking custom exclusively locally, it's probably much harder for them to imagine that it could be valuable. But Web Reality, we've done research over the past couple of years which show that there is a strong move away from conventional sources of that kind of service provider, so Yellow Pages, for example, into Google. People habitually turn straight to Google these days to find pretty much anything. And yeah, absolutely, so your social presence will have a dramatic effect on your chances of being found, because one of the things that Google loves is inbound links to pages on your website, and the links that you create from your social presence or that other people create from their social presences to your website all count in your favour in that respect. So yeah, this is a little understood, I think, potential benefit to businesses of having a social presence. Whether or not at this stage search they consider to be important for their business, it will be. Social feeds search. Search will potentially feed businesses in the future.
Well, Matthew, I'd like to say thank you very much for having a little chat with me, and I'm very much looking forward to having you on our panel at Social Journal.